Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 49 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on doing at least 2 things every day that I don't want to do, but I know would be good for me. So yay for day 49. So, yeah, day 49. Only 51 days to go, right? I'm almost halfway there. Very excited about being almost halfway there because then it means it's downhill from there. Maybe it's still uphill. I'm not really sure how that goes. But today I read my scriptures and meditationals this morning, and I was thinking about not exercising. And after I did that, I ended up exercising anyway because I just kind of felt like I was supposed to, so I did. And then I took too long in the shower and made myself late for work, which was not good. I was only 5 minutes late for work, so it wasn't that bad, but it just wasn't that good. Anyway, when I was praying to know what I needed to know today or see myself the way that God sees me, I usually just say a little prayer and just be like, God, what do you want me to know today about myself, about my life, about recognizing, God in my life or seeing myself the way that God sees me. And I just kind of sit there for a minute and just wait for whatever thoughts pop into my head, and I write something out. And today it was a to-do list. It popped into my head and said, I should write a to-do list. And I was like, I don't really want to make a to-do list. I haven't made a to-do list in a very long time, but I have learned in the past that sometimes it does actually feel good to cross stuff off of a to-do list, and it is good to look at the to-do list and be like, okay, so when I'm just kind of wandering around in my ADHD brain, or just kind of laying around going, what am I supposed to be doing? And I feel like a gazillion things floating through my brain, and it's not. It's probably like 5 or 6 things. And I just can't decide which one I'm going to do. And then it just feels like way too many things to do. And then I just do absolutely nothing. So today I made a list this morning, and there were 18 things on my list. And I was like, I don't want to do 18 things today. I was like, and there were probably like 3 of them. I probably did maybe 4 or 5 of them at work that I could do at work. 3 of them I knew I was going to do at work. And then I think I did 1 other one at work. So I ended up doing 4 at work. So that was fine. But that still meant I had 14 to do when I came home from work tonight. And the only one I included, like journaling and brushing my teeth, was probably the only one I included in stuff that I do every day. Maybe dishes, because I did put dishes on there, but I don't always do my dishes like I should do my dishes. So I did put those on there, but I was just kind of like, cringing. So mostly I was cringing because I don't like asking people for help. I don't like changing things. I don't like doing things differently. So I needed to do things, and I just wrote down a bunch of things. And some of those things were things towards my weekly goals, like reaching out to friends and family and doing things. So one of them was making a Marco Polo video for my family. And one of them was like texting a friend. And I was like, cool, I can do those things. That's not a problem. I had like 2 friends to text, and then I had like some church people to text. So I'm like, I got a whole bunch of texting I can do. And one of them was to post my link to my song on Twitter. So I did that. I think it's just a pre-save link. So it's just kind of a link for like pre-saved, and it's only like Apple and Spotify that I have pre-saved links for. And somebody asked me if it was going out on iTunes, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's going out on iTunes and YouTube and whatever other stations that are out there. I think it's like iHeartRadio too, and some other ones. I don't know. The Amuse launches it to like 25 different stores, outlets, apps, whatever terminology that is. I think they refer to it as stores, but I think most people just use them on their apps. So it's going out to all of them. It's launching or being released on the 31st of March. So to all of them, what they do with it once it's released, I have no idea. If it will reach people, I have no idea. The only thing I got was like a little link that's that you can click on to pre-save the song on Apple and Spotify. So I should probably put that in a link below. I should put it in the other video, but I could put it in the link below on this video if you're interested. I don't know how long that link will be good for, because like I said, after the 31st of March, it will be available to the public on any one of those websites. And my song is called Slow and Steady. So yes, I'm promoting myself on my YouTube video, because where else would I put it, right? So that's what I do have. So I'm excited about that. But so one of the things on my to-do list was to put it on my Twitter account, which I don't really do much on my Twitter account. I used to like upload my YouTube videos on there, and then someone's like, if all you're doing is sharing YouTube videos, nobody's going to watch that. I'm like, you're probably right. But I don't get social media. I watch other people's videos sometimes. I scroll through what other people put on Facebook, but I don't post everything on a daily basis. I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he was suggesting that I like create a blog to get people like reading my stuff. And I was like, a blog? I'm like, I tried doing a blog once, and I did it pretty consistently for about a month, and then I kind of just stopped, and I've never gone back to it. I never made any money off of it. I don't even know how blogs work, really. And I guess there's all these free sites where you can start a blog. And I was like, what would I blog about? Blog about the fact that I'm writing? I'm already doing writing. I'm already making videos. I'm already overwhelmed with all the things that I'm trying to do. But I realized that those are other forms to communicate and other ways to attract attention and to gain an audience for my book that is being published, and for the series of books that I intend to write and publish, and also for my song. So more things that I don't really want to do, but I probably need to do. And really, if I had the money, I would pay somebody to do it for me. That's one of those things where I'm like, I need to pay like a publicist, somebody to publicize everything for me. I think that's what you call it, as a publicist, or a marketer, someone to market everything for me. So I need somebody to do that for me. Pay somebody to do my social media accounts and tell me what to put on them, things like that, because I don't know. And I would probably randomly put some things there, but not something that I do consistently. And without being consistent, it's hard to build an audience. It's hard to get a following. It's hard to do anything. So I'm probably the most consistent with my YouTube videos, and I've been doing them for the longest time. But again, I haven't paid somebody to edit my videos. They're not like pristine. They're just me, crazy me, putting myself out there. So I'm slowly gaining an audience, and some of my videos get much wider views than others. And I'm still not entirely sure what I do with the ones that get a lot of views versus the ones that don't get quite so much. But like I said in the beginning, I tried to share my videos on Facebook and Facebook page and Twitter and everywhere, and it didn't seem to make a difference versus just posting them on YouTube. So I'm like, I just post on YouTube because it's just the easiest thing for me to do. And all the other stuff is doable, but after a while it just feels overwhelming and tedious, and I get bored with tedious things. Probably an ADHD thing, so very much so. Anyway, so back to the things I did not want to do today. One of which was messaging my doctor about my ADHD medication, because I can't find the 18 milligrams anywhere, and because I'm not willing to sit around and spend days calling 20 different pharmacies every day trying to find some place that might actually have the medication. So they have it at one of the pharmacies, just at a different dosage than what I want. So I made the suggestion I could just get it and cut it in half. And apparently you can't cut it in half, which she put on the prescription. I was like, why would you put it on the prescription? Just get the prescription for the 27 milligrams and I'll just cut it in half. Do the order for 15 and I'll cut it in half, and it's still 30 days. So it's not like going beyond what's legal. I'm like, I'm okay with that. But apparently because they put a special coating on it, you're not supposed to cut it in half. And I was like, they put a special coating on a pill. I don't understand how cutting it in half makes the special coating not work. It's still on the two halves of the pill. But apparently it prevents it from being an extended release if you do that. It's just a regular release pill or something. So it reduces its potency, which is fine by me because it's too potent at 27 milligrams. I need the lower dose, which is 18 milligrams. And I don't even know if 18 milligrams is too potent, but that's apparently the lowest I was told that it goes. But apparently they have other dosages, or they have ones that are not extended release that you can take. So I'm like, now I have more options. And of course, I got a message back from him with more options at the end of the day telling me that I couldn't cut it in half, but he's like, oh, these are the other options. What do you want to do? And I'm like, what do I want to do? I don't know. I'm not the doctor. I don't know what these medications do. I don't know what the right dosage is. We're still playing the guessing game to figure out what works. So I didn't respond after work. I just came home and I Googled it and looked it up, and I was like, okay, so the other dosages that they have, assuming the pharmacy actually has them in stock, which would be fantastic if they do, are just not the extended release. So they're the ones you just have to take multiple times a day, which I'm okay with that, because that's what I already asked to do, was to get the extended release and cut it in half and take it twice a day because it's too potent for the whole day. So I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the lower dosage and taking it 2 or 3 times a day to see if that works, versus having the higher dosage extended release. It's just too intense for me. So I will probably just send him a message tomorrow, which means I have to do the message again tomorrow. But I am grateful for my coworker that came and talked to me and asked me about it when she got a response from the pharmacy, instead of like sending me a TE or sending it straight to the doctor. Like, she didn't go over my head. She did let me know what was going on. So I'm really grateful for that. And she also didn't advertise it to everybody, which was super nice. But I also had to ask my coworker to take my blood pressure, because my doctor wants me to check my blood pressure twice a week. And I am being a very bad girl, and please don't do what I'm doing. Please don't use me as an example or an excuse to do something against what your doctors tell you to do, because that's not a good idea. But I just felt like last week, when my anxiety was really high, that it might be the blood pressure medication that was making my heart racing and just making me feel like I was shaking all the time. And I mean, it's kind of nice because it's an extra boost of energy, but it's just after, several days of an extra boost of energy, it just gets really intense. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable like this, constantly like this. And, waking up in a panic and like with my heart racing, like not really in a panic. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm freaking out about. I don't have any noises. I don't have any reason to be freaking out. Usually there's a reason for my heart to be doing this. Usually there's at least a sound, there's a trigger, there's a something. And I'm like, there's a nothing. So my doctor's convinced that it was the Adderall that I was taking, and that's not going to be an issue. And I'm like, it's been over a week since I took that. I'm pretty sure it's not still in my system, or that it's not doing this to me. I think it's the blood pressure medication, but I don't know. I don't have any proof, because the problem with starting with multiple medications at the same time is it's hard to tell which medication is causing the side effect. So it's hard to determine which medication to stop taking and which to start taking. But it's easy to say to stop taking the Adderall, because despite all of the extra energy, anxiety, jitteriness, whatever you want to call it, it's like, okay, I've got all of this. Like, I just don't know what to do with it. It's kind of making me crazy. But I stopped taking the Adderall because it wasn't helping me focus. It wasn't helping me remember to do things. It wasn't keeping me on task. And then my heart is racing, and I just feel nervous all the time. And I'm like, I don't need to feel nervous, because then I feel like I'm messing up, and then I panic, and it's not a good feeling. And so I'm like, okay, I'm trying to do all the other stuff I need to do to calm down, to relax, to put myself in a calm state of mind. And so I did stop taking the blood pressure medication, and I did switch from the Adderall back to the Concerta, or the methylphenidate, which I guess is the generic name for it. So I switched back to that, and I'm just taking the old pills that I had from before that I never finished. And I don't know how much. I mean, they're helping a little bit. They're not as intense because I cut them in half, and they don't work as well cut in half, but taking them twice a day seems to be helping. It seems to be working, I think. So I feel okay doing that, which is why I wanted to get a prescription to do that. And apparently the pharmacy is like, you can't do that. And I was like, well, that's just dumb. So it's hence having to switch everything. But again, kind of just doing this without necessarily doctor's okay. Like, my doctor is okay with my trying that and doing the prescription that way. I just don't know that he's aware that I still have some left from December that I cut in half and I never finished taking, because then I switched to the Adderall, and anyway, all kinds of craziness. So just playing around trying to find the right dosage of things is crazy. But I had to get my blood pressure taken, and I'm supposed to be taking the blood pressure medication because my blood pressure is high. So I didn't really feel comfortable asking my coworker, but I knew that I needed to. And part of the reason I didn't is because months ago, when I had wax in my ear and I had to get wax out of my ears, everybody, all the MAs knew about it, and they were all teasing me about having wax in my ear. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, this is nuts. Everybody knows I had wax in my ear. And so I kind of felt like it was going to be that way with the ADHD medication and the blood pressure. And it's like, okay, but nobody said anything about that. They're not teasing me about that at all. So I'm like, okay. So I guess the wax in the ear is okay to tease, but the other stuff is not. I'm not really sure. I don't get it. I don't like being teased. So regardless of what it is, I don't like being teased. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But it just still makes me nervous. So I was just praying and trying to breathe and trying to be as calm as possible when she took my blood pressure today. And I actually looked at my chart to see where it was like last week when I saw the doctor, and like the last couple of months with the reason he's putting me on it. And so it's been like 158, 156 over like 96, 98. So kind of high, not good. Not good. When I was doing it at home on my own, it was somewhere between like, it was around 140 over 80. So today when she took it, I think it was 146 over 92. And I was like, well, that's actually pretty, I mean, it's not good. That number is still way too high, but it's closer to what it was at home before. And it was lower than it was last week, which is interesting because I'm not on the blood pressure medication. I haven't taken it since last Thursday. So it's not quite been a week since I stopped taking it. But it's lower. So I was like, oh, okay. So no, it's not close to normal. And no, it's still higher than the doctor would want it to be, but it's lower than it's been. And I kind of contribute that to trying to eat a little bit more water, stopping the medication that's making my heart race, and obviously changing ADHD medication. So I hope that's what's doing it. I also exercised. I exercised for a couple of days, which I know exercise can help lower your blood pressure. So I need to work on getting enough sleep and drinking enough water and exercising, because those are all things that will lower my blood pressure. Plus anything I can do to lower my anxiety, like just following through on all of my goals and doing all the things that I'm supposed to do, even if I don't want to do them, because then they're not hanging on me, they're not weighing over me, and then I'm not anxious about all of them just, following me around all the time. So, like I said, I did ask for my blood pressure to be taken, and it was lower. It's still high, but it's lower than it was at my appointment last week. So I kind of feel, I feel like God was watching out for me, and that maybe I made the right decision in stopping the blood pressure medication. I'm not 100% set on that. I did have in my mind that I'm going to try without the blood pressure medication this week. And if my blood pressure is still high, or it's, not getting any better, then I will go back to the 5 milligrams next week and then see what the doctor says. And if he says that it's still too high, then I will, double it like he wants me to, because I don't want to ruin my body. I don't want to give myself a heart attack because I'm just being stubborn and I don't want to take medication. I don't want to do that to myself. That is not a good thing for me to do. But I am trying to remember that God knows me better than I know myself, and that he created my body, and that I know we have medications that he's given to doctors and other people, but it's called practicing medicine, just like it is with the ADHD medication. They don't know exactly which one's going to work or exactly which dose. So it's kind of like trial and error to figure out what works best. And maybe there is a different blood pressure medication that would work better for me, that wouldn't have the heart racing and other things. And maybe I just didn't communicate that well with my doctor, because I'm used to anxiety. I know how to describe anxiety and my heart racing, and feel like I have extra nervous energy. And to me, I describe it as nervous energy, but I'm like, it's just an extra boost of energy. Like I'm just kind of shaking and I can't sit still, and I'm like, not really sure what this is. So to me, I feel like I'm nervous because I'm shaking, and that's what I do when I'm nervous. But that could also be because the medication's making my heart race, and that is a side effect of blood pressure medication. So it's kind of like, my description of that might be different, because I have anxiety, I've had panic attacks, I have had what I would describe as nervous energy. I can create that all by myself. I don't need medication to do that for me. So I'm just kind of like, I don't want to take medication that's going to do that for me. I want to take medication that's going to calm that down. So I'm almost like, maybe what I need is an anti-anxiety medication, because maybe that would help lower my blood pressure. But it's kind of funny because the ADHD medication is actually supposed to raise your blood pressure. So it's another reason my blood pressure might be high, is all the different medications I'm trying. So, and I've had my blood pressure taken when I was nervous and when I was sick, and all of those things make your blood pressure high too. So all of those things are just not the best. So the fact that it was a little bit lower today, it was lower. I don't know how significant that is, going from, 58 to 158 to 146, but still, I mean, I think that's better. for the top number. The bottom number, I think, just went from 98 to 92, but still, it's an improvement. So I think as long as it's improving, I will stay away from the medication. But like I said, if I can't figure out how to get myself to follow through with things and to stay off the medication, I will try the medication again. And those are things that I have to do. And then of course I came home from work and I did not want to do my dishes. I did not want to do all of the other things because my brain does this thing. I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, if it's a PTSD thing, if it's just a crazy me thing. I know other people do that too. But I kind of overreact, and when things don't work out the way that I want, like medication and not being able to get the prescription of the 27 milligrams to cut in half kind of a thing, it's disappointing, it's discouraging for me, and then I kind of just want to shut down and I don't want to do anything. So I struggled to not shut down like the last little bit at work because my coworker told me about it, and then I had to wait. So I had like a little bit of anxiety waiting until the end of the day for my doctor to respond to me, because of course he was in with patients and doing other things. So there's all of that. And then of course when then it's left on my shoulders to figure out more things, and then I feel overwhelmed and disappointed, and then I'm just like, I'm not doing anything. So I came home, I'm like, I just don't want to do anything. And I just thought, I'm so grateful to God for telling me to make a to-do list today, because I didn't want to do anything, but I had a to-do list. So I could open up my to-do list and be like, okay, and I'm looking at 18 things, and I'm like, what can I cross off? And I was like, great, I can cross off about 4 things, and they're all things I did at work, and they're all things, at the end of my list instead of the beginning of my list. And so then I started looking at the things that I could cross off, and some of them I'm like, I'm not doing my dishes. I don't care. I'm not doing my dishes. That was on my list. I think it was number 5 on my list. I did my dishes, by the way. I did dishes tonight, but my initial thought when I came home was I'm not doing it. I made dinner and I worked on a couple of chapters of editing my book and some other things that were on my to-do list. And then I did my dishes because they were on my to-do list. So there's that little stubborn part of me that's like, well, I put it on there and I can finish it. And if God told me to do it today, then I can do it today, because I'm trying to follow through with those promptings. I'm trying to do those things, even if I don't want to, because I know it'll make me feel better. And then once I did that, then I didn't want to make my Marco Polo video to my family. Not that I don't love my family, but I was doing like weekly videos to show how much progress I'm making with cleaning my house and doing things like that. I was like, I'm not making progress. I'm pretty much just staying the same every single week. Not getting any worse, but not getting any better. And it's kind of frustrating to me. So, I don't like admitting that, but I did it anyway. I did just spend way too much time avoiding it, probably like half hour, 45 minutes, in which I could probably be in bed by now if I hadn't avoided it. And then, of course, that left my video, because we do the video at the end of the day, and I still have to write on my journal and brush my teeth. So the last 3 things on my to-do list today are my video and my journal and brushing my teeth before I go to bed. And those are all very simple and very doable things that I have no problem doing today. But I am very amazed and very grateful that I did all 18 things on my to-do list today, and some of which I really did not want to do, and especially when things didn't work out the way that I wanted to, and I was feeling depressed and overwhelmed, and even overwhelmed by my to-do list, I still chose to do everything on my list today, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm also grateful that there were so many people that I was supposed to reach out to in texting today, because it was just kind of nice. I did talk about myself, but like when I sent messages, it wasn't about me. It was asking how other people were doing and focusing on other people and reaching out to other people. And that just made me feel better about myself, because I'm reaching out to other people, like for me, because I need it, but at the same time, I'm reaching out to see how other people are doing and focusing on other people. So it kind of takes the focus off of me and what's going on for me in my day. And it made me feel better. And then I did chat with my Texas friend that did the picture for my book cover, because I thought she was going to do some adjustments to it to make it a little bit better. So I was letting her know that I, might be publishing my book and I can use the drawing that she did. And I wanted to know if she was done with it. And she's like, well, I already sent it to you. And I was like, okay, fine. Because when she sent it to me, she said that she was going to add some stuff to it, so it wasn't done. And I did have a suggestion of something else I wanted her to add to it, so it wasn't done. But apparently she didn't get that email back, or she decided she's not going to add anything to it. And I'm not going to push my luck with my friend. I think the drawing is amazing, and it's quite possible that the person publishing my book can add to that. And even if they don't add to it, even if they don't make any changes, it's an amazing drawing. I'm like, honestly, the only thing that I really would like is to have it be like the stones that are in the circle are supposed to be like red sandstone, anyway, if you've ever seen red dirt, I kind of want it to be like red dirt, red stone, and it's more of a yellow hue to it, so it's not quite the right color to it. I mean, but it is dark and it's lit by a candle, so maybe the lighting is meant to be that way, so it's okay. And she was going to do something else to it, and I didn't picture the stones as being raised. I pictured them being like, embedded into the ground, but she had them as raised, and I'm like, it looks really cool that way, so I have no problem with her interpretation of that. I'm like, that looks amazing to me, so I'm not I'm like, it does, it's an amazing drawing, so I can't wait to see it on the cover of my book. I'm very excited about that, but it doesn't have the title added to it, which she said she was going to do, and she was going to put some symbols in the stones, which they're supposed to be, and I don't care if they're on there or not, because I don't have set symbols in my mind as to what the symbols are, so I kind of just want to leave that up to people's imagination. So if there aren't set symbols in the stones for the drawing, for the book cover, I'm okay with that too. So I'm okay without those details, and I know that they can add the words to the book cover and all of that stuff when they publish it, so it's not like she needs to do that. So the only thing I kind of would like is to have the stones be a little bit more red, but even if they're not, it's okay. I'm like, it's okay, because it's a beautiful picture, and I'm not going to not use that picture just because the stones aren't red. I'm not that picky. Sometimes I am that picky, but I also know that my friend, I love her to pieces, but she gets really upset whenever I try to say, well, can you do this different? Because I know she's an amazing artist, but I'm like, hey, this is not quite, what I envisioned. Can you do it this way? Can you tweak it? And she gets really upset about stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, but when you're getting paid to do something, or you're doing something for someone else, it is kind of the idea to tweak it the way they would like it. But I know I'm not the best at communicating, and what I picture in my brain, I don't always describe in a way that other people picture. So she gave me her interpretation of what I said, which is, I would say, like 90% of 90% what I wanted versus 100%. And I'm like, it's close enough. It's close enough. It's good enough. It's amazing enough. And so sometimes it's better to just let those things go. I don't have to be a perfectionist. It doesn't have to be that perfect. And like I said, I think I've pretty much decided I'm going to let this person publish my book. So I should probably let her know that I want her to publish my book. But I still want to go through all of the edits first before I sign a contract and do anything. So I'm still kind of, I don't want to rush into it, but I'm so excited about the idea that I just want to do it. But I'm trying to teach myself that I have to wait and make sure that it's the right thing to do, and that I'm comfortable with, the way that she's editing things and what she wants done with my book. And I'm only 6 chapters into a 22 chapter book, and only because I'm only let myself do 2 chapters tonight, because I know I have to go to bed. And the crazy thing is I didn't want to start doing it. I was like, I'm just not interested in editing my book tonight, but since it was on my to-do list and I started doing it, once I got through 2 chapters, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going. So then it was hard to make myself stop. So I'm just like, I am very grateful that I put that on my to-do list to start tonight, to do all of those things tonight. So I think I need to do more daily to-do lists to cross off. But I also know that I have a tendency to just put way too many things on my to-do list without asking for God's help or his guidance as to what should be on my to-do list. And I've found in the past that when I do that all the stuff that God wants me to do for the day usually gets done, and all the extra stuff that I think I can do or that I want to do doesn't always get done. So today I didn't want to make a to-do list, and I put 18 things on it, and I struggled, but I did all 18 things, or I will do all 18 things before I go to bed, because like I said, video, journal, brushing my teeth, and then I'm done. So grateful for that, and that is what I have today. So thank you for listening to me and my crazy long ramblings. And again, I will put the link to the pre-saves for my song down below. And again, the title is Slow and Steady. So when it comes out on March 31st, you can look it up on, I'm sure it'll be out there somewhere. It should be out there. I don't know all of the platforms or stores, apps that it's going to be on. I just clicked on all of them, and since I paid for the pro account or whatever, they will launch it on all of them, including doing the pre-saves for Apple and Spotify. So that's what I have. And then when I sign a contract for my book to be published, I will let you know. And when it's going to be coming out, I will let you know that too. So I'm super excited about things and moving forward. And that's what I have for today. So if you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe find one or two things to do today that you don't want to do, but you know would be good for you.